I wanted to share a quick mixing technique that can allow you to add some perceived width to a sound. So in other words, you're taking a sound that more or less sounds like it's down the middle, and you want to move this out to kind of the sides of your mix. So let's say, for example, that we have this brass stab here. Right, and let's say that, you know, we decided we don't want it to be right in the middle because maybe it's like interfering with our bass or the vocal or something like that, right? We want it to be kind of moved out to the sides a little bit more. So what you can do is duplicate the track. Now we have two identical brass stabs, and this is what they sound like. Right, it's just louder. And the way that we can add some perceived width to this is pin one of them hard left and one of them hard right. But again, still doesn't sound that different. The next thing that we want to do is make sure that this little delay icon is enabled, and that is going to either show or hide the track delays. And so now for each of these tracks, I can either add a pre-delay, meaning this sample is actually going to play at, you know, let's say 15 milliseconds ahead of where it's actually located on the grid. Or if you go in the other direction, it'll play, you know, 15 milliseconds after where it's located on the grid. The point being, this is going to make the sound hit our ears at different times. Listen to how it starts to move to the sides as I adjust this pre-delay. Then if it goes too far, it starts to sound like an actual delay as opposed to just maybe wider in the mix. The sweet spot tends to be between like 10 milliseconds and I think 35 to 40 milliseconds. And the actual name for this is called the Haas effect, if you're interested in like looking into it more. And if I wanted to take this a little bit further, I can even apply some mid-side EQing to really kind of take some of those frequencies out of the middle of the mix. Right, and that really kind of pushes it out to the side. The one thing that I would say is just kind of a word of caution is be careful of doing this too much, especially with main elements, because it can affect how they sound in mono. So just for example, you know, it sounds great when we play it in stereo, but this is how it sounds in mono. In this song, I'm okay with that because this is not a main element for me. It's just kind of adding some support on the sides. So if it is not as powerful in mono, that's okay with me for this song.